In today's video, I'm going to give you one simple tip that will get you one step closer to that dream you've been envisioning for yourself. I know you want to get there, and I want to help you. I'm Lori Reeves, founder and CEO of Brand Strength. I help service-based entrepreneurs gain an advantage over their competitors so they can stand out and end the feast or famine cycle in their business for good. So today we're going to do a little story time because the tip I have for you goes along with a story of exactly how I've implemented it and why I want to share it with you today. So again, we're talking about how to make your dreams come true. I have one simple tip for you to get you one step closer to making that dream come true. So here's what the tip is. Figure out what's the gap. What's the gap between where you are now and where you want to be, where you envision yourself being when your dreams have come true. So here's where the story time comes in. For a long time, I have envisioned myself as someone who speaks on stages to large audiences of people. I have had this vision of myself going up the steps to a stage, turning and looking at the audience of thousands of butts and chairs, looking right at me, expectant to hear the message that I have to share with them. Now, when I envision this, I envision a woman who is dressed well, has short, funky hair, is very confident, is very secure in her message, is excited to speak to these people, and ready to deliver her message and share it with the world. Now, I had this vision of myself for a very long time. If you've been watching videos of me, I've been making weekly videos since the beginning of this year. You may remember that at the beginning of the year, I had long hair. So I kept having this vision of myself speaking to a big audience, and I had short hair. But I'm sitting here as a long-haired person having this vision. I also didn't put a whole lot of stock into what I wore day to day. I work from home. This is my home office that you see me in. Nobody comes to my door. I work most days by myself. Now, a lot of days I do have Zoom meetings, but there are days when I set those days aside so that I don't have meetings scheduled, so I don't actually have to dress up. And I'll be honest, most days I didn't. But I also really was letting that affect how I saw who I was. I was not a person who looked professional most of the time. I was not a person who put a lot of time or energy into her wardrobe, into how she was looking, into putting makeup on, any of that. And there were times when, kind of suddenly somebody would say, "Can you hop on a Zoom call?" And I either wouldn't hop on the Zoom call because I wasn't camera ready, or I would hop on, be completely self-conscious about how I look, apologize over and over for showing up on camera that way, and feeling a little bit worse about myself because of what I had done and how I had shown up. Now, that's not the way I see myself in my vision of being a speaker who's going up onto a stage, turning to speak to thousands of people who are expectantly waiting to hear the message that I have to share with them. So I started realizing there's a gap between that woman that I see speaking and the woman that I am today. And I decided to start taking intentional steps to close that gap. Now that gap came in the form for me of what I looked like, my hair, my appearance all together, and the way I was doing things. So if I were to think about making a video or putting together a lead magnet or something, if I hesitated, then I would remember to think, okay, what would the woman who's standing on the stage, excitedly speaking to thousands of expectant people, how would she act? What would she do? How would she move in this situation? So once I started identifying the gap between where I was and where I wanted to be, I realized that I needed to close that gap if I were ever going to get there. And so when I cut my hair, it was like the first step of me going, you know what? I think I see now that I'm starting to become the person who, if I were given the opportunity to speak on that stage tomorrow, that I would be able to stand up there and be the woman that I envision being on that stage. When my hair was long, there was that gap, right? There was that step in between. If somebody asked me to speak, I would have to take the time to get my appearance right in order to be the vision of myself that I actually really want to be. So I cut my hair. You're on a journey with me. You may not know it. I have naturally curly hair, and I didn't wear it curly for years and years and years. It's more wavy than it is curly, and I didn't know what to do with it. So for a really long time, I had long, straight hair. So I looked very different. You might see like my brand photos. I have long hair. Like sometimes it's curled where I had curled it with a curling iron, but other times it was straight. It's a very different look for me, and it's not that I don't like that look. It's just not how I feel most me. And so I cut my hair, started figuring out how to do it. I'm still in the process of figuring out how to style my hair curly and at this length. So you're on a journey with me. You may not know that, but you are. And then I also started looking at my wardrobe, upgrading pieces here and there, getting a little bit more, weeding out the things in my closet that don't make me feel like the best version of myself that I'm trying to show up as. And so it's like I'm identifying all the pieces that are within the gap and eliminating them one by one, so that each time I'm getting closer to that vision of myself, of this, my success vision of what I look like when I reach that success. The same thing can happen with the things that you're doing. Again, if you're thinking about doing something in your business and it makes you a little bit hesitant, or you're feeling a little bit of resistance because it's uncomfortable and you're feeling that discomfort and you think, well, maybe I don't have to do this. Is that what the success vision of yourself, is that how they would approach that situation? And if not, how can you invoke that version of yourself in and take the step that person, and it's you, right? That future vision of yourself, the way that person would take the step. I hope this is helpful for you. I know this is a little bit different from some of the videos that I've been making lately. Speaking of the videos that I'm making lately, I'm thinking about making a change. So if you are not in my free Facebook group, I want to invite you to join me in that group. I'm almost certain, I haven't completely made up my mind yet, but I'm almost certain that I'm going to stop putting these videos on YouTube and put them exclusively in my Facebook group, because that's where communication and interaction can happen much easier. And then I can expand on what I'm talking about if anybody identifies like, hey, you said something, but I need help applying that, or I need more information around it so that I can understand the concept better. I want to be able to expand on the conversations that I'm having, and I feel like my Facebook group is the best place for me to do that. So if you are not already in my Facebook group, I would love to invite you to come join us. It's free, and all I do in that group is help you become the best version of yourself, help you gain an advantage over your competition by understanding how to create amazing offers, how to understand your messaging, and how to be more persuasive so that you can have that advantage over your competitors and get more revenue into your business more consistently so that you can end that feast or famine cycle for good. I would love for you to join us there. Come on over and join us if you're not already in the group. You can get there by going to brandstrength.co/group. That's a shortcut that will take you right over to Facebook and allow you to request access to the group. Make sure you answer the questions as you're joining the group so that I can make sure I know exactly how I can help you best, because that is my main goal, is making sure that the people in my community belong there, that we know what everybody's working on so that we can focus on those things and get work done. So I hope this was helpful to you. I hope to see you in my next video.